Hello and welcome to the Moxie Mojo channel. As crafters, we're constantly using our scissors. Even though we try to stop family members from borrowing them sometimes, they do get hold of them, and occasionally this is what we end up with. Through their using them and through our own use. We often end up with glue residue all over them, though it's not normally that bad. So I thought I would try cleaning them and share the journey with you. Now you have to bear with me, it's a long weekend here, start of spring, so it's quite warm for a Sunday afternoon. I've got the windows open and we've just had sirens, a plane go overhead, a motorcycle racing down the road. Someone sounds like they're chopping wood or trees or something out in the neighbourhood. So of course as soon as I start recording, all that noise starts up. So if you hear some odd noises in the background, my apologies, that's what it is. Now, to clean these scissors, what I'm going to try is isopropyl alcohol. Now, this is some that I've had for a while, isopropyl alcohol. I got this from the local hardware shop, and to be honest, I haven't used very much of it. I'll be lucky if I've used about a quarter of the bottle, so it will go a long way. However, it is highly flammable and there is a lot of vapour, hence the open windows, so you do need to be very careful with it. Now I do have a little bit that I've decanted into a spray bottle, but you do need to be very careful with spraying it around. Again, because of that vapour and the odour, you don't want that going everywhere. So we're going to start off. I've got a little bit of residue here on my Tim Holtz scissors. I clean these off, every couple of months unless they get really sticky, just to keep them nice and functioning well. Again, I've got Fiskars scissors here that have just had a little bit of build up. They're not sticky, but I can see the build up on there, so it's time just to clean them off before it does get too bad. And these little wee scissors that I picked up at a craft show a while ago, or earlier this year rather, and these are the ones that my son borrowed to cut some really sticky tape. It was like a duct tape, but not a real duct tape, and just had like globs of glue that just came off onto the blades. So it's so bad I can't even close the blades. We're going to start with these ones first, and I've got you nice and close so that hopefully you can see. So if you can't see what's going on in the background, my apologies for that. So I'm just going to spray very close onto here. Whoops, and I've got that turned off so that it won't spray inadvertently. Just a one spray directly onto that tissue, and we're going to try and just clean that directly onto there. So we want a little bit, and already I can feel that easing up on the blade. I am going to need more on there. You see how that bit there of the blade already is pretty much clean, but I'm going to have trouble getting into this a little bit here. So I'm going to have to open the blades as much as possible. Now I am keeping the sharp side of the blades away from me, just safety first, even though I am cleaning them. And I'm cleaning just this blunt part where it crosses over. So that's looking much better there now. Now we'll carry on up here, and again holding the blade so that they're not going to close on my fingers, and I'm just like trying to brush or wipe this glue residue off And you can see it, the big blob of it there come off. So now we'll do another spray, and again very close and directly onto that tissue. Now you could also use like a cotton pad if you've got those. I don't have any, which is why I'm using the tissue. So I'm sticking with just this one blade first, doing the other side, and again keeping a firm hold so that the scissors don't close on me. Doing the back of the blade, and now very carefully doing this leading edge, just to make sure that's nice and clean. So that first blade now, apart from there's a little bit there on the outside. Alright, so let's have a look at that. So a little bit on the handle side here. So you want to get the whole thing. And you can see on the blade here, the alcohol dries almost instantly as soon as you wipe it on. Clean, check the inside here. So now that first blade is completely clean, apart from a bit from where it just kind of closed. So we'll now go on to the second blade, and just got a little bit of the glue in here, clean the outsides. So now, look at that, they close again. Now, while they're closed, I can clean the outsides of the blades as well as that cutting edge. I'm really pleased with that. So it's just cleaning off any fluff. So yep, so they close there. Just a little bit of the glue on there. So that is a job well done. New tissue for this. So again, I'll fold that back. So we're going to put in one spray of the rubbing alcohol. Now these scissors are a bit harder to hold open because they are that much bigger, but you find they're a lot easier to clean because we're getting them before the glue gets too bad. Now I'm not sure, you might be able to see the reflection of the alcohol as it dries. You can see it's darker, and then it goes through and just a little bit down that end. So that blade's looking much better. So we'll carefully turn this over. And you see just a little bit of residue coming on these blades, which is why wanting to clean them off. So that's all that needs. And I think they're clean, so happy with those. So now just Tim Holtz. Again, hold the blades open. And whoops, that is pretty much clean there. Just sort of check some, just shimmering there. No signs of anything there. That's looking good. And then we will clean the outsides as well, because sometimes they end up with a little bit of like sellotape residue on there. Because sometimes, I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but the sellotape curls around the edges. So here we go, last pair. We're just going to clean off these. Again, just being very careful, making sure that even though we're cleaning the scissors and the sharp side, our fingers are always protected. Right, so they're sliding together nicely. close that. So we've now cleaned not only the 3 original pairs, but several more pairs. So a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on a tissue or a cotton wipe, and you can clean all the glue residue off your scissors with very little effort. So I hope that you try this as well, and keep your tools in nice, good, ready to use condition. I'm sure you'll benefit from it as much as I have. So thank you for joining me here. Please, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to click that bell to receive a notification every time I release a new video. And share the video if it's something that you appreciate the information from with all your friends and colleagues, because I know it would really help me to help this channel grow. So thank you for joining me. Enjoy your crafting and always be sure to have fun.